Alright, I have a very big update today. It's been about 2 weeks since the server's been online. We have implemented auto attack, a new targeting system, and a new movement system. All three of these are quite large upgrades, and they still need a little bit of work, but they're functioning for the most part. So we're ready to get the server going and let beta testers log back in and start playing again. So I'm going to be creating a new developer account here and give a little demonstration of some of these new things. So we'll be starting a new account from scratch here, although this is a developer account. So with a developer account, I'll get access to a bunch of other items and things of that nature that other people won't have access to. So we'll go ahead and start with creating our team here. Just give them basic names to kind of speed through this process. There are multiple videos showing different things you can do in the beginning of the game, how to play the game, how to build your team. Other videos, we already have this. This one is going to be mostly about the new features coming. Get my team and my party here. Alright. So, I have access to a lot more gear. In fact, it's still spawning. It's going to take a little bit for all of it to spawn. It's just going to keep coming in. So I think we have somewhere around 400 different items in the game right now. Currently, the crafting system is not in place yet, but it's fully designed, and it's actually halfway being implemented already. So we're going to have crafting ready to go quite soon. And then players will be able to go beyond just the basic beginner gear. I'll have access to much more gear than most people, but let's see what we have here. I'll get the fighter geared out here real quick. In fact, before I do that, since this gear is going to take a little bit longer to populate, I'm going to go ahead and get my spells going. So we can only afford one skill or spell to start out with on each class. Now when the game goes live, you may not be able to afford the first one. You might have to play the game to earn your first one. We'll go ahead and start out with charge here for the fighter. Equip that to Q. The archer will go with bandage wound for a little extra healing. The rogue will go with hide. I need to do a little bit of testing on hide. Might as well kill two birds with one stone in this video. Enchanter, mesmerize for sure. Priest, heal, no other way to go. And I always start out with fire for the wizard. That raw damage is just more important than the utility ice gives. Alright. A lot more of our developer gear should be populated by now. Now keep in mind, when you play this game for real, you don't get any of this stuff. This is my developer account here. You get nothing when you start. You start out with a staff. A little staff, that's all you start with. Alright. Looks like we got our bows, our axes, our cloth armor, our earrings, some leather. Plate hasn't come in yet. So we'll gear out our archer. So we got some bows here. Whew. I don't want to go too strong. I'm just going to put on, I'll put on tier 2 gear. It's a little bit better than starting gear. Let's see. You know, this could take a while. I'll just put on a few pieces. I don't need to do everything. Weapon and a little bit of armor will be good enough, since you start out the game typically with nothing. Let's see, I saw the daggers right here. Rogues will be dual wielding. We'll give him... just a few pieces of really... Ooh, I don't want that one. That's good. I don't want to fully gear these guys out. It's just take too long. I want to give the warrior, the fighter, the sword of fire, so I'm going to wait for that to populate in. Alright, that's good for the fighter. Don't want to get too strong. I usually give the priest plate to be a little bit of an off tank. I'll give him the raid amulet. Let's see. Just give him a helmet. Be good to go. Alright, our NFTs are coming in. Oh, priest needs a weapon. You can have the tier 3 one-hand mace. To give him a shield. Where my shield's at? There they are. Let's give him the tier 2 shield. That'll be good. Wizard, very important to get him as high arcana as possible. I forgot to equip his fire spell. Did I forget to equip someone else? Let's see. Got him. Yeah, they're all good. Just get a little bit of gear on this wizard here. I'll give him a tome. So wizards can actually use swords, so I'm going to give him a sword. Give him a little bit of cloth. Not too much. Let's give him a breastplate, will be good. Alright. Let's go back to the fighter. I wanted to give him the sword of fire to show that item off. Okay, so give him a quick shield. Alright, we're good to go. Some of my characters gained health from a lot of the equipment I put on, so I'm going to go ahead and rest in the inn. Shouldn't have made that sound, but it's fine. Still rested, still went off. Alright, we have our team geared. They're in the party. Let's go show some of these new features. So something most people haven't seen now is the overworld map has changed. We have actual nodes now that you can walk to. So when you click on a node, it'll tell you how long it takes to go there, the name of the area, and how much energy it's going to cost to travel there. So we'll go ahead and walk over here. So we will be adding in random battles to the game. They're not implemented right now. They're fully designed and almost ready to go. We will be adding that to the game quite soon, and you'll be able to find random battles when you're traveling anywhere. And random battles will potentially have the opportunity to find things you wouldn't find in other places. So you might not always want to run from random battles. We'll go ahead and do a solo match here. So this area is Lake Ardine. And now, which you couldn't be able to do before, you can actually drag the cursor now, like you can in games like StarCraft and Warcraft, and you can actually select your whole team. So you can see that their names are now highlighted. That means they're part of my selection. You can also, let me turn this down a little bit. You can also look at the character and see the little circle behind them. That means you have that character targeted. Now if I push spacebar, it'll make me lose my target. It'll kill everything I have selected. You can see the circles went away, you can see the highlight of the names went away, and if I just click 1, you see I then have the wizard targeted. And as you can see, movement is a little bit different now. Instead of clicking on an exact tile, you can actually just move anywhere you like. To a degree, there is a little issue that we haven't figured out yet. So say I wanted to move right where my cursor is. It doesn't actually move to the spot. We need to figure this out, but it moves like right before the spot. We'll figure this out eventually. But for now, that's how it works. So now you can actually select your whole team, and we have a basic formation that you can't see yet. The formation is top-down order on your party window in the top left corner here. The person in the front line is on top in descending order to the bottom. So now that I have every unit selected, if I told them to all walk somewhere, the fighter's going to go in first. I clicked a little bit too close, so we'll click a little bit further away. And you can see the fighter tries to stay in the front, where everybody else kind of stays in the back. So we have some enemies over here. If I right click on one, it'll make every single unit attack him. So there's going to be a few more enemies that come here, and it's all going to happen kind of fast. But we'll just kind of try to take it slow to show how things are going to work. So when I right click this enemy, everyone's going to go over to attack it. And they're all going to continually auto-attack until the enemy's dead. Now they'll stand still because no order is given at the moment. Let's go ahead and say kill this rat next. They'll all gang up on the rat, continue to auto-attack it at the maximum efficiency they possibly can. Kill a few of these enemies and work down to just a few so I can play around a little bit more. Yeah, there's a little bit of glitchiness in the enemies moving around sometimes like that. Like I said, there's still a little bit of work to do, but everything's functional for the most part right now. So, now that I have all 6 of my units selected, you can see the actual unit that I'm fully controlling right now is the fighter. Everybody else will follow what I say, but the fighter is my real selected unit. Now, if I push spacebar, I lose it all, and reselect them all, it's the fighter again, and that's because he's front in line. Whoever's first in line is going to be your primary unit you're controlling. Now, if you wanted to cast a spell on a different character, you could push tab, and tab will cycle between your characters from top to bottom. So you can see my fighter starting to die here. We'll tab over to my priest, which I can then left click on the fighter, and then press Q, and he will start to heal him. And then my spell goes on cooldown. I would be able to continue doing this. We definitely want to keep killing these enemies here, since we don't regenerate health or MP. So, micromanaging your team is going to be much easier now than it was in the past. If you wanted to, say, execute a lot of abilities really quickly, this bat's going to die fast. It's going to not be the best example. But I would be able to say I wanted to attack. I can cycle. I can start casting fire. I can start. Oh, I don't have my other. I don't have my other attack abilities. I bought bandage wound on the archer instead of aimed shot, so I wasn't able to show that. But say you're fighting a really difficult enemy, you would be able to cycle through all of your characters really quickly and just keep clicking the abilities you wanted to use per character. So you'd be able to very quickly micromanage your team. So I need to heal my fighter again here. He's getting pretty low. So something that's really important to understand with Dragonkill compared to other MMOs, every MMO that I've ever played, you typically play one character. Now, all 6 of these units that I'm playing, they're all equivalent to one character in most MMOs that you would play. So, a popular game, for example, 2 different games, Albion Online and World of Warcraft. 2 games where you only play one character. Now, every character here is designed to be just like that, except for you have a full team. Now, you can play a full team by yourself, or you can play just one character with 5 other friends. It's entirely up to you. We're trying to give the option to be able to do both. So, we'll go a little deeper down here. See the auto formation there? Tries to keep the tank in the front. The reason for this is the first person that's seen is the one all the enemies are going to attack, so you're going to want your tank going in first. We're going to offer different formations over time, but right now this is just the default, the only one we have, but we're going to have more over time. So right now, my fighter actually has a Sword of Fire, which... we gotta fix this bug. NFTs that go off screen for some reason. Nothing else does. Just the NFTs go off screen. We need to fix that. But the Sword of Fire increases your light radius, so I can actually see a little bit further than a normal character can, which allows me to see these enemies at a distance before they actually aggro. So we'll try to get into a little bit more fights here and show a little bit more of the combat system in a more quickly paced scenario. We'll find a... Alright, so we have a few enemies here. We'll say we wanted to mesmerize this guy, cast fire on this guy, have these ones attack here. As you can see, micromanaging is quite a bit easier now. It does take a little bit of a learning curve to get used to it. But again, the reason there's a little bit of a learning curve is I don't think there has been an MMO before that you play more than one character in the sense of an MMO capacity. So there might be some games where you play more than one character, but the characters are designed to be very primitive, where every single character in Dragonkill is very in-depth. As you can see, there's lots of different equipment pieces you can equip. There's lots of different spells every single class gets. Now, keep in mind, every single one of these spells that you see has 100 different ranks to it that you can rank up and specialize into a different type of fighter. They're not all going to be the same. Let's go ahead and heal our fighter a little bit more here. So the enemies are going to get quite a bit harder down here. I probably will die here soon. See, I know we have some tier 2 enemies right here. This Lizard Warlock is a tier 3 enemy. He's quite difficult. So I'm going to try to mesmerize him and kill off the weaker ones first. Archer pulled aggro here. So I'm going to cycle over to my wizard. He's not in line of sight. There's a tree in my way. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because he's about to die. Yeah, there is line of sight triggers that will block you from doing things in the game. Such as these trees. They block line of sight. You can't cast fire through a tree. My enchanter's going down here. He just died. He pulled aggro from mesmerizing the enemy, and I didn't follow up by pulling aggro on the fighter, so that's what happens. This is a tier 3 enemy. It's not something that you're supposed to be fighting very early in the game. Now, we have a lot of animations that are coming to the game that are not plugged in right now. So we're going to eventually have attack animations and walking animations and things of that nature. These things have a decent chance to resist. Almost got him. Alright. That was a huge kill there. Alright, so I want to test out this hide real quick. Should clear my aggro. I really don't know what's going to happen here. Let's see. Okay, that didn't work. A little bit of work to do on that. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. So let's see. The auto attack, self-explanatory. You can see how units continually attack. The targeting feature, how you can now target anything. Get a detailed explanation about it. We'll have buffs and debuffs in here eventually. He's getting healed from the bandage wound ability from what I used earlier. And then the tab cycling system, where you can push tab to cycle between your characters to do different spells, to micromanage more quickly. If you don't want to click tab to go through them, you have a few different options. You can either push tab, or you can push the F keys. F1 is the one on top, F2 is second, F3 third, and so on, all the way down. You can click the F keys to target who you want to target. Another option, you could just drag over one character and it will target just that one character and select him, and you can give action based on that. You can just left click on one. Spacebar clears your targets and who you have selected. We'll go ahead and get out of here. We'll go back to town here and raise our characters from the dead. We have many more areas to add in. We're just really trying to polish up these ones before we expand and start making more. So when you have characters fall in battle, you can come over here to the Ancient Dragon Shrine, and by clicking the resurrection button here, it'll resurrect them. The gold price is based on the character level, so the higher the character level, the higher the gold cost will be. Gold is 1-to-1 ratio of DKP. So we'll go ahead and res these two characters, and after we resurrect them, we will rest at the inn to bring everyone back to full health and MP. And then we will go back out and give a quick demonstration of the spider caverns, which is a place I haven't shown yet. Told a lot of people don't come here because told them they'll die if they come here. It's not the easiest place. In fact, it's the most difficult of the three we have so far. So the spider caverns actually has reduced vision. And in order to see, you'll need the light spell, the sword of fire, or a torch, one of the three. So my warrior has the sword of fire, so I can see just fine. But if I were to take another character, you would see he can't see very far. He can't see very far at all. Whereas the fighter with the sword of fire, now a torch and the spell light will be just about the same vision as the sword of fire, just a tiny bit less. So we can see much better. There's a spider up there. Oh, we aggroed him. Why is it not? What was that? Okay, so we're going to tab through to our enchanter. We're going to mesmerize that. He's the hardest one of the bunch here. Now I have to remember, my enchanter is going to pull aggro as soon as that mesmerize fades here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fighter kind of ready up here, I think. I'll do one more hit on this. And then I'll get my fighter on that one. I want him to pull aggro off of it. He missed. Enchanter's taking damage. Yeah, the Enchanter's like the weakest class in the game. So the fighter is going to get a lot of different abilities that give aggro, like AoE taunt. So your Enchanter's not going to be dying all the time like this. It's just we don't have all the taunt spells in the game yet, so I have a really hard time pulling aggro on my fighter at the moment. So what I like to do is kind of explore on the fighter a little bit, because I want him to pull aggro. I don't want anybody else to pull aggro. Let me go ahead and heal the fighter here. By having the fighter kind of go up first, it'll ensure that he pulls aggro. Oh, we have some right there. Kill the weak one first. Let's see what else we have here. One of the most difficult things you'll be getting used to is pressing the spacebar. Pressing spacebar, clearing all your targets to give a command. Again, it's a little bit complicated to get used to, but I'm gonna reiterate again. The reason for this is because you're playing like 6 main characters, so it's not simple to design a system to control your characters when you have so many, and each one is such an intricate character. And this place goes on much, much bigger, but I don't want to spoil all of this cave, so I want to let people figure it out on their own. So that's all I'm gonna be showing of this cave here. Ooh, we don't want them to go up that way. There we go. But the new movement, the new auto attacking, it's so much better than what we had in the past. Everything's so much more fluid. It's so much easier to move around. Again, it will take a little bit to get used to the new targeting system, but it actually works quite well once you get it down. And that's the basics of the new movement system, targeting system, and micromanaging system. So the server is actually open right now, and we are going to be allowing people to log in right after I post this video. So if you're interested in playing in beta, feel free to go to dragonkill.online and sign up for beta, and we will get you in as soon as we can. And the server is going to be up for the next the rest of the month, 24 hours for the rest of the month. So if anybody's interested in playing, the server will be up for you. And I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.